take a couple of breaths to make sure that we're being with our body. All too often that I talk to people who have been kind of numb to their body all day, even though their body took them everywhere, doing everything that they were required out of it. So this is a moment to invite presence. Tune in, feel what's going on. Deep breath flowing. That word of flow, that's been on my mind quite a bit this week. So that's going to be our intention today, is flow. So to me, flow, or getting in the zone, that phrase is extremely powerful. It's impossible to do when we're in our normal analyzing brain. It happens when we get deeper inside. It's actually a slower brainwave, but it's such more of a meditative place. It feels more peaceful. It just feels kind of tranquil. It's almost like we're meeting our soul because we're quieting down the noise so that we don't think that we're the noise. We're not confusing that to be us instead. So it's like this deeper type of clarity, like transcendence, realization of who we are. And so that's the type of flow that we're working on. Sometimes athletes get into that zone when they can just kind of see the perfect option in front of them, and then just everything aligns perfectly. They just know what to do. Artists get into it. Sometimes when I paint, just literally hours and hours will pass and it feels like nothing. So that loss of time, that's one of the signs that we got into it. Other times, just that peacefulness that you feel, like in meditation, that's a tremendous one of them. So all these are our ideas of flow. And so we'll do different things, honestly, just getting into our body today, but also, pausing to breathe, pausing to listen, these kinds of things. And ultimately, that's our goal, is to find moments, even if it's just for a fraction of a second, where we kind of feel like we found that flow or that zone just a little bit. And the more we find it, the more we're able to kind of bring it into more and more and more of our daily life. So our life feels more soulful rather than just kind of action reaction. So that's the idea that will lead us on today. So with that, to get us started, let's begin with our nice initial stretches. Arms flow all the way to the back wall. And start to let the shoulders wiggle to the right. Wiggle to the left. Let's take it 2 or 3 times back and forth. Starting to feel the shoulders and the side ribs. Good, and when you're ready, take your right hand to the chest. That hip flexor, a good hug. Right leg is welcome to start stretching up to the sky. Check in with that hamstring. Take another breath or two, or if you're ready to move into the hip, hook your right heel to that left hip. If you swivel and hook it over, bend the knee out to the side, slide the shin in. Huge stretch for that hip. Take a couple of good deep breaths. This sense of having no rush, like there's nothing to do, nowhere to be, just right here with our bodies. That's that exploratory motion we're trying to play with. Another huge inhale. Exhale, free out this leg. Drop it all the way down. And left knee to the chest. Give it a breath or two. Coming up to sky when you're ready. You can say another breath or two, or at any point where you're ready for that hip opener, hook the heel, back right part, slide the shin. Maybe one more deep breath in. Nice exhale. Breathe the leg out, maybe a stretch up to sky. And as we start to drop it down, let's come up to sit. And let's take our first inversion already. Let's hook the thumbs on the back end. Lean halfway backwards. Use the core as you grip back on. Last step, legs wide as you continue to tilt back. And wrapping ankles will get you to that safe hook or hands to release. So see how the spine communicates with you today. You guys are a group who love inverting, so don't ever feel like you have to overdo it on your first inversion. But that also being said, don't feel like you have to rush out of it. So find that happy medium, just listening to your body. I'm going to give you plenty of time to just invert. Whether you're upside down or right side up, sometimes there's little motions that feel helpful for our body, like rocking the neck around, left and right, doing a little hand clasp behind your back. These simple little things that help our body out. Is anybody who wants to still be upside down for a bit longer, you can hang something that your body just knows that that's where you should be for a little while. Those that have been up for a little while, let's take a nice little spinal twist. So we're going to bunch up the fabric from the front door. And as you're bunching the fabric up that way, the shoulder that opens that mountain wall, let that arm open, or you can circle the hand all the way around the back of the head. It's any amount of a twist that just feels good for either shoulder or spine or both. Good inhale. Exhale, release. Switch it to the other side. So bunching up the fabric here, it's your back shoulder that opens or circles. Nice inhale. Exhale, keep the fabric bunched up to this side and then lock the arm straight. The hip that got lifted up, that's the leg that's gonna swing up and over. Let's take both feet inside and legs get a chance to straighten out. So sometimes we get into flow through stillness, kind of introspection, turning inward. Sometimes we get through it through constant motion, kind of like the runner's high, just like running, and all of a sudden it just feels like everything is just, everything's perfect in the world. Your body's just flowing. It feels good. So creating a little bit of that motion, what we're going to do is hands grasp the outer strand and then push your legs out wide. A good straddle. And then from here, that's your nice inhale. Exhale, the arms are still pressing outward, but the legs are stronger. So legs begin to squeeze together. Inhale, legs let go, arms open out. Exhale, squeeze. Keep that breath flowing with you. Breath is a huge part of flow. Starting to get some oxygen pumping for our body. Let's take another 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Spreading back open. Slide the right hand down the right leg, left hand up and over. Moment for the shoulder and the ribs. Rising up. Left hand down left leg, right hand up and over. Good. So rising up, let's kick the feet back out of each end of the fabric. Sometimes for me, it's when I go into the deeper poses, that's when I start to really be able to slow down the brainwave and go deep inside. So one of these deep poses that I love, it folds you up kind of like a taco. Take one hand like a stop sign and then press that to the fabric in front of your face. Once you've got one hand kind of holding the fabric there, opposite heel comes up where your hand is holding. Once you've got one heel up, second foot just comes up next to the first. And then we try to straighten the leg up, both of them, as high as they'll go. Some people need to have some bend. The more you can straighten the legs, the deeper it is. And the more you can kind of scan through the body and release more and more and more muscle groups, that's another way to get deep. So just breathe, tune in. Let's take a couple more good deep breaths. Assisted forward fold, essentially. So if this is hitting the spot, no need to shift on right away. If you prefer to move to the hips, bend the knees out to the side, and then you choose how deep the heels slide in like a toddler. They could be higher, they could be almost close to that pelvic bone. Just depends on your body. If you ever feel like the rocking that you're getting is too much, you can either kind of spread your wings out and kind of push against it, or just kind of play with your weight in brief moments. And especially like feet pushing forward and back pushing back is a powerful way to, so just kind of play into these dynamics. Take 2 more good relaxing breaths right here. Go deeper for that last one. As your breath comes to complete, slide the feet out to face back forward. Shift hips left and right, so center again. Let's take a moment to move into our neck and shoulder area. So floating the hands off to left and right. Let the right ear drop to right shoulder. Easing into that left half of the neck. If the right hand wants to come up and rest on that top ear, that could be helpful for some people. If you're already in a good stretch, no need to force anything more. Good. Head gradually lifts. Then left ear to left shoulder. Good. Lifting up. Bring the chin down to the chest. Sometimes clasping hands behind your back and kind of pulling away can feel helpful with that too. Back of neck and shoulders all at once. Okay, releasing. Let's take a vampire. So enough fabric to cover one thin layer over your shoulders. All the excess is brought down to the waist with your elbows. And then once you got that excess down, take it back. Step my heels to the spot that's under the thighs. And to take the excess down, you have to lift the hips up first, then straighten the legs out. So today we're going to do a split. And so what you're going to do is make sure the right leg has some excess fabric covering it. Left leg is free, no fabric at all. Yep, that looks up. Okay, shoulders are still safe, nice and covered. One hand grips up to left and right, nice and high. Good. And so from here, both feet come up, press out into the fabric, and then engage your core to lift upside down. Good, so push them into the spot that's right above where the hands are. You kind of turn your toes out to block it, yep, just like that. Okay, so to head to the inversion, And if you wanted to watch first, that's okay. Yeah, I usually go all the way up. But if you want to watch first, that's fine. Essentially what we're doing is your foot that's wrapped up, you bring that foot down first so it comes down to the spot kind of right in front of your hips. Once you've got that foot down in front of you, hiked all the way forward, then your left foot step all the way down to the ground. So if you feel like there's not enough on your shoulders, go forward. Okay, those that are in it, just sink your way back to the splits. Come over here. You're like almost there. So we're going to have that over here and then push out. Over here. Up, there. Focus on that. Then this foot down first. So all the way right here. This foot. This that way. See how they can grab it right there? Now your other foot goes down. All the way to the foot. Yeah. And just sink your way back like a split. Ooh, ooh. Oh. Isn't that amazing? Good. So if you just got into it, take a couple more breaths. If you're about ready to switch, step your foot that's on the floor into the pocket where the other foot is, and then switch your feet out, the other one to the ground. Your goal is to keep the body in balance. So if you were there for like 7 or 8 breaths on the first side, take about that long. If you're there for 2 or 3, take about that long. From this point, it's going to be after the balance, just kind of playing with that vampire pose. So if you wanted to practice this, step down a couple of times, that's fine. If you just wanted to hang upside down in vampire, that's fine. I'll give you that freedom to just kind of play with it. Listen to your body and give it the time and the playfulness and all the fun that it gives. Just go straight up and down. You can keep on playing. It's straight up to you. Yeah, whatever's fun for you. Okay. Yeah, you can either slip it back in or come out and just start over. Don't have to rock, by the way. Just sit right up the light helps you. Oh, there's little things like that that you'll learn over time, yeah. So some people are still playing, some people are enjoying, some people are resting. So we're all in different spots. For those that are happy and just ready to take a mini Shavasana, it's kind of up to your body to communicate to me how you're doing with that recovery. So people that, that you've been laying down for a while, you're about ready to sit up, that shows me that you're doing pretty good. You're almost ready to move on. Those that are maybe just coming to recovery, stay down a bit longer. That helps me know, okay, I need to rest just a bit longer. My head and my heart need some time. So it's all up to you. Just kind of help just communicate with me via your body language. Hey, good work. So it seems like we're doing pretty good. So we've got a little fun thing to try to play with. The first part of it 5 times is trying to use the core and kind of trying to find like our tilting point. The 5th time, if you're comfortable, we'll do a flip backwards. If you feel like your grip is not quite comfortable enough for that, then at that point, just come out and come forward. So this one requires a nice tight grip to left and right. Your legs pike out in front of you. As you lean back, your feet tilt up, and then you just find that play point before you need to actually tilt. Then use your core to lift up and tilt right back up to sit. Good. We're gonna repeat eventually 4 and up. 3 2. If you're feeling good to flip backwards, this time you gently flip. I love the smiles I get, Ariel. That's so awesome. Good. Yay. So we'll take a thumbs up grip. It's a little bit wider than the shoulders, and I'm kind of like getting myself standing to the point where the shoulders are held somewhere around shoulder height. You can go higher if you walk backwards, lower if you walk forward. But then wherever you end up, that's a decent stretch already just standing here. Then you'll lean back another inch or so. That'll gently get you right into that shoulder area. At some point, you'll feel ready to gently ease out. So you'll come just under plumb line. Let the hands slide outward, just wide enough that you can slowly ease your way up and forward. Once you're forward, you can keep that same grip, start to bend at the waist, take a nice 90-degree angle. Stillness can be amazing, or swaying left and right could feel awesome. So it's up to your body. Pick whatever is going to be helpful here. With knees, we rise up. Good. Taking a gentle little leg stretch. Let's take our right ankle into the fabric. Just see what the hamstring wants at this point. We've done a couple of hamstring stretches, but maybe the hands want to slide down to get the heart closer to the thigh. Or maybe you're ready to try another split, sliding hands up, sinking weight forward. See how much those hamstrings want to lengthen by this point. Okay. Weight back, swivel the right knee out to the side, and then play with the hip opener. So to make it more gentle, you can kind of just lean the head forward and even just kind of barely rest any weight forward. To get more and more and more, you'll get hips to sink more and more flat or hands to slide back up. Any of those would deepen the experience. So you choose what your hips are happy with your knee not being an issue at all. Good. Weight back over your standing leg, right leg straight. Let's try a swinging switch. So hands grip up high. Keep the leg straight, otherwise it's going to do a swing. And then second footsteps in, first footsteps out. Good. So hamstring stretch first, whether we're gripping high or sliding down. Whichever one was working, perhaps on the other side, keep it balanced if you can. A good breath in, out. Weight over your standing leg, swivel the knee out to the side. Choose your hip opener. Maybe head is down, or maybe hands are up. And weight over the standing leg. Just for funsies, we do another swinging switch, practicing. One foot in, the other foot out. Good. So now just stepping out. Take it to a hip hang. Hover her across the front of the hips. Walking forward to take any slack out. And then bend down, dropping hands. Several steps back to bring hips up and line. Sometimes it's fun to bring the legs out wide, just kind of letting the hips swing left and right. Other times the full hang with bent knees, hands hugging. Whatever feels like your body is needing it, like what it's asking for. That's what we're gonna play with here. So, like normal, I'll give you time. Some people tolerate this better than others. So I'll give you plenty of time just to enjoy it. So it's okay, absolutely, for some people to still be upside down. Those that are starting to come up, you come into your nice leaning back posture. Let's place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and just focus on the breath. See if you can feel a rhythm, kind of like an ocean wave, rather than both hands coming up and down together. Perhaps belly can go out first and then heart up. With the exhale, heart down first and then belly. Feeling it much more like that ocean wave coming in and then receding out. Good. So if we're feeling pretty good, let's start to free ourselves out of the fabric. So walking backwards until we're standing up on our own. Drive the elbows inside, fabric's out in front of us. Let's get to the hips just a little bit more before we do this next fun thing. So take the fabric out like a ballet bar in front of you, walking up just behind the front line. So step your feet nice and wide, toes turning outward. And then as we go down into a squat or a second position plie, let the knees track out in the direction of the toes rather than trying to turn in. So then we go all the way down as far as we can and all the way back up. So do that a couple of times, feeling those hips getting more and more mobile. The breath flowing with us. Take another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Turn the toes forward for a moment. Slide the hands back to the shoulder distance. And then a moment to lean forward. This is a slightly different stretch than when the feet were together. Just enjoy a couple of breaths here, maybe new muscle groups that you're experiencing. Bending the knees, roll up. Okay, this next thing is pretty fun. I'm gonna come on this side so you can literally just copy everything that I'm doing. Michael, I'm gonna be facing that way, so that would turn your back away from me. So you can either do the opposite of everything I'm saying, like left and right, or you can do what I'm saying if you feel comfortable with it. I see you play with this one sometimes. But what we're gonna do to start off with this one is step your right foot inside. We don't want to be swinging like crazy, so when you slide your hands up, try to use your core and that leg strength to rise up slowly with ease. Once you're up, slip your right hip inside, and then your right shoulder inside, grabbing that right hand, so that way you have something to grip onto above where your head now is. And then your left foot is gonna step up super high, and both feet are gonna get to the spot where they're joining together in the center. So you're kind of sliding your glutes down, sliding your feet down until you're about at a 90-degree angle. By the way, if it's right in the middle of your sacrum, it's a little bit more intense. You can scoot it just off to the glute side to make it more comfortable. Okay, so from here, the top leg drops down to the left side. So that should be left leg to the left. You can switch your feet if it's opposite, yeah. Okay, so now your left shoulder has to go off the right end. And then it's left hand that's gonna grip up super high. So nice and high grip with left hand. And then right now it's your free right hand dangling down, your free left toes. So then just join those two together. We've got a good quad stretch going on. It's kind of just beautiful to lean back like this. Good. So back up high, take the shoulders back in. If you feel comfortable just to step on it, that's fine. If your body like slid down too far, you can just, we'll pause for a moment while you join back with us. We're gonna switch the foot that's on top. So right foot's on top while we're pausing. Maybe switch it to the other glute. And while we're waiting to all join back up, sometimes it's kind of fun here for a moment to try to play balancing with no hands. Good work. Okay, we're almost all together. So this one's gonna be the opposite. It's right foot dropping off to the right side. And then it's the right shoulder that has to go off to the left. Once it's past the fabric, grip that right hand up high. Good. Free left hand goes to free right toes. And just lean back into that good quad stretch, almost like a back bend too. Good. You're ready to come back up? You can either try that long balance again, or you can even try more of like a cross-legged sit. So one shin kind of crosses in, and then the other one splits to a cross-leg shape. This one's a lot funkier. It's actually easier to balance with the other one. But you kind of find a way that your shins or your feet can kind of hold you, and maybe place a moment of balance. Sometimes balancing is a great way to get into flow. It's like you're never more in your body than when you're trying to just be. Good. When you're ready to come on out, just free yourself out. Awesome effort, kind of fun. Okay, so let's go to chandelier. So let's take our straddle back inversion. Fabric's right across the sacrum. And I like to make sure it's just my thumb instead of all my fingers, because that's a lot of fingers that can get friction and stuck. Good, so then one foot slightly back, one foot slightly forward. Then the knees lock the fabric right at that good spot on the sacrum. Maybe 2 or 3 tiny tiptoes forward so you don't swing. And then hands up, knees wide. And once you wrap the feet, let your spine hang for a moment. Let's do a nice little twist. Right hand up to the top of the mat, left hand to the back of the mat. So I would put my fabric, by the way, Lynn, I put mine a little bit higher up. Nope, like on your butt. Oh, yeah, put it higher, like toward, yeah, so come on up for a second. Put it like, instead of like the low part of the sacrum, put it almost like where the butt crack is, like higher up. Yeah, that'll make you feel like you have more spot. Those that twisted, go ahead and switch your hands. If you haven't already. Think of like, not quite that line, but slightly lower. Yeah, that from kind of where that looks like it's still forward. Yeah, switch on your full leg. Good, knees wide. That's narrow, go wide. There you go. That looks a bit better. Good. Okay, so once we're back to the center with our spine, right leg kicks out straight. And then rotate your hip behind you. So toes are pointing to the mirror behind you. Once you're pointing that way, then bend the knee. Maybe one hand grabs that foot coming full. This one's our chandelier. You can stay a bit longer or sit with me. I'm going to switch my legs. So right leg rotates right back around. So not quite there. Go wide. Yep, that's the way. Yep. Okay, left leg wide. Kick it straight out to the side. Rotate it to point behind you. Bend the knee. Then one or both hands try to grip on. If you're ready to return, that's okay. If you want more time with straddle lap today, go ahead and just hang. Any other variations you know you can play with. No rush. Those that want to out, you're like, okay, my head's about had it. You can at any point, just like a normal rule. Don't feel like you're in a competition with anybody. But also don't feel like I'm like pushing you out. I want you to have plenty of time. Of course, that was exactly right. Just let you guys know where we're at. We're in that last under two prior to Shavasana. So if you want to hang for that last under or two, that's fine. If you want to just come out and rest and then finish Shavasana, that's fine. If you wanted to like walk the feet forward for a moment to give the spine one last chance to drop down. Basically, any last stretches, any last things that just feel good for your body. This is those last couple of minutes. Just play with it, listen to your body. Kind of one last invitation to get back to the zone. And then at some point, if and when you're ready, your version of Shavasana, whether that's grounded or whether that's right back inside, floating. Where's that point where we take the next minute or two to gradually get out of this beautiful zone that we found? Perhaps just start off by deepening the breath. Good inhales, exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes. Maybe stretching the arms to the back wall, letting the shoulders go right, left. Maybe take the fetal position, going onto the long side body on one side. And allow yourself curl in and arc back. 2 or 3 good times on this side before switching out. Or later we make our way up to a comfortable seated place. Moment to reconnect with our intention, hands in front of the heart. To think of any moment, even a fraction of a second, that felt a little bit like being in the zone, being in flow. We realize how that felt for us. What are some of those descriptive words we might use to describe, to share that experience with somebody? And we recognize that if we allow ourselves to, we could spend more and more of our days in flow. And it would make it so that driving is so effortless. You just know where to go and how to be safe. Even doing the dishes feels peaceful and almost empowering. And conversation, it's like you have the power to direct the conversation any which way you could imagine. There's so much power in flow. So we recognize those moments when we experience it so that we can begin to kind of return to it over and over again. So with flow to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. We be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste. Happy Friday.